I'm going to remain standing so I can be as tall as these guys when they're sitting. Wow, what a night. Have Henry Kissinger and then Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady. It's as good as it gets. What a pleasure to be able to share the stage with two NBA All-Stars, 7 times for you and 8 times for you, Yao? Is that right? You lost track. If I named all the awards that these guys won, we wouldn't have time for this discussion. This summer, I visited the Olympic Museum in Switzerland, and they had a quote from Jesse Owens, the famous American athlete who won 4 gold medals in track in the 1936 Olympics. He said, "Friendship born on the field of athletic strife are the real gold of competition. Awards become corroded. Friends gather no dust." The two of you come from entirely different backgrounds, yet your friendship represents exactly what Jesse Owens was talking about. Can you talk about how your friendship developed?
Oh, we were teammates. Is my mic on? Mike, one check. You can hear me? Okay. Oh, sorry about that. So I had my 4 years in Orlando, and after that 4th year, it was a very frustrating season. And I was looking to, at that time, basketball in the NBA was about a wing player and a big man. And at that time, you had Shaq and Kobe, you had Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. And then you had this guy right here to my left, who was young, trying to find his way in the league, but you saw the potential. And for me, I figured if, I could go team up with him, maybe we can, do something special in the NBA as being teammates. And from the first day, what can I say? I've already had relationships with China by going since it was 1998, it was my first time. And every year I just kept going. So was familiar with the culture. And when we became teammates, it was really just colliding those culture differences together. And, basketball for us is, we're very passionate about it. And it brought us together on the court and also off the court. But I realized how big this really was between us two when we were a part of the first Asian Games in 2005. And that was a joy to be a part of.
From your perspective, yeah.
Actually, that's 2004.
Okay, all right. I'm off.
Well, for me, I remember a movie. That actually reminds me of a movie. You remember that movie talk about the legendary baseball guy, Jackie Robinson?
Yeah.
42.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After I watched that movie, I think it's like a culture shock
mm-hmm.
in there. Obviously, for me as a Chinese player who joined the NBA, I don't want to say that, but especially in Texas, No, I thought I prepared everything, before I came to I came to Rocket, come to Houston, that I try to study some English, some other books to learn something about how I can survive in this league right there. But suddenly, when you're running into a bunch of a teammate like this, especially like teammate, that you're still you're never preparing enough. You're never preparing enough. I remember the first practice when I practiced. Officially, I practiced with him. We were being forbidden practice together before the training camp start. That's a league policy or something. Mm-hmm. All right. It's last thing has happened on court. Something is really off the record. It's really off the record. But basketball is a sport that can can put us together. Regarding those misunderstanding of a language, because, be honestly, I'm not perfectly speak English until today. You're not speaking Chinese at all.
You speak you're a lot better than
But
you
I
were back
learned
then.
trash talk from you,
Yes, yes, yes. You did a great job.
like the one I just gave to you.
Yes.
You
Yes.
trash talk, Tracy?
Just a little bit. And I had to learn, but it wasn't reciprocated though. I had to learn trash talk from my Chinese teammates and not Yao. So, I helped you out. You didn't help me out when I went to CBA, but it's cool.
Well, I try to keep my advantage.
Okay, all right.
So what year was that you then went? How long were you in the Rockets before you joined, or was it simultaneous?
You came in 2002?
Yeah, I joined the team in 2002.
And what year did
I
you
was
join?
2004, 2005.
So you operated without Tracy for a few years, but it wasn't as much fun.
Oh, that's fun. Also fun. Oh, come on.
One of the great moments, I attended the opening of the Olympics on August 8th, 2008. And watching you, Yao, lead the Chinese team with the Chinese flag on one side and holding the hand of a 9-year-old boy on the other who had been a hero in the Wenchuan earthquake. What did that, the whole world was watching. What did that feel like?
Well, there's about 2 months ago, there's another guy asked me the same question, which is just suited to me. I suddenly, I don't know where this answer come from. It's also from another movie, It's like, remember, I learned my English from those movies. Titanic, remember that movie, Titanic?
I think we all watched Titanic.
Yeah. You want to sing a song?
You
for
just
us?
watched that? You just?
Don't mention another movie.
I'm not.
Okay. At the very end, remember that old Rose? He said, I don't even have a picture of him. He only exists in my memory. When you just ask me how I feel about the 2008 Olympics, it's exactly the same feel. That I cannot explain how I feel about it, but it only exists in my memory. That's how I feel, maybe.
It wasn't a deeply emotional moment. In other words, I keep a tape of the 2008 Olympic highlights because it's so uplifting. And part of it is the video of you coming into the NBC had provided it, but it's you coming into the stadium. What did you feel seeing your teammate walk into the stadium in Beijing that day?
Proud, because I know him personally. I know he was standing up there watching him. He was a great representation of China. Couldn't have a better person. To think that watching this guy and there's 1 billion people that's behind him and rooting him on, you have to feel something, Yao. Jesus. Yeah. You gotta feel something. But, I was just proud watching my teammate up there in the Olympics because I knew how much it meant, not only for him, but for China.
Yep. You've both experienced playing in a foreign country. Obviously, you playing here, Tracy, you playing in China for Qingdao, right?
Qingdao, very cold.
Very cold?
Very cold. Very, very, very cold. Beautiful city, though, but very cold.
What were some of the obstacles that you faced, and were they unique to a Chinese in America and an American in China?
It's basketball. I think, just really adapting to a different game. Again, all my Chinese players, they spoke Chinese. I didn't speak any Chinese. So, but I did pick up, a few basketball terminologies as I went on through that season.
Like what basketball terminology did you pick up in Chinese?
I picked up like how to tell my teammates to rebound. I always think I get fouled when I go to the hole, so I know Fanguila. 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 Talk to the ref, my Fanguila. So, and yeah, rebound, lob and jaw. Like I've learned some terminology, but at that time for me, and this is why I appreciate and I always be indebted and love China. Like that, I consider China my second home. It was a time like we as basketball players, we love being celebrated. So in the NBA, when you're on top of your game, you're being celebrated by fans. And Yao has gotten this. I've received this in my time of playing. When you're at the free throw line and you're having one of those, amazing seasons, and you're standing at the free throw line, and you got 18 to 20,000 people chanting MVP, right? Like that, I can't tell you how that feels. It's an amazing feeling when you're out there on the basketball court and there are other pros, but the MVP chants are for you individually. So by this time of me going to China, I wasn't the same player because I dealt with injuries. So those chants and everything, the last 4 years of my career had died down. Going to China, when the day that I announced that I was playing in the CBA, sold the CBA out. And my very first game, when I tell you it brought that energy, that love, that passion back, which I've lost for like 4 years, China brought that back. It like revitalized my career and my love for the game of basketball. So I'm always indebted.
Now, cultural differences that you experienced in Houston.
I'm sorry, pardon again.
Cultural differences being Chinese and suddenly being in Texas playing basketball. Must have been a pretty big shock.
Wow.
Food, because he loves to eat.
I noticed, having spent the last 2 days with him, he does love to eat.
First of all, in China, we don't have American football. That's one of the most popular sports in Texas. And you have to watch some of those, right? Secondly, everything is bigger in Texas, that's for sure.
You just added to it.
That's for sure. And everything is so far away in Texas because the landscape is so big. My hometown is in Shanghai.
There's 20 million people in your hometown.
Yeah.
So it's far away in China as well. No?
I mean, like in China, I mean in Shanghai.
Shanghai.
Well, that's 25 million.
All right, 25 million people.
And I'm not. It's almost like you living in the city, like in Houston. That when I heard neighborhood, how far is it? I said, no, not far. Like 45 minutes drive. Okay, that's not far. So how far is far?
You got a point.
The population density is a little different from Shanghai.
Yeah, for sure.
To say the least. Did playing basketball kind of help you, Tracy, adjust to kind of life in China? In other words, was it really the lever that got you involved and made you?
No, you got to understand. This is 2013, I think, when I played in China. I've been going to China since 1998. Mm-hmm. So I'm very familiar of the culture. I'm right at home. Actually, I just got back from China 2 weeks ago. So when I go to China,
what were you doing there 2 weeks ago?
I went to the Asian Games. I was over there with Yao. We saw the Chinese national team win the championship. That was amazing. But I just visiting my partners, and that's the beauty about China. Not being celebrated in the NBA for so many years, and you kind of lose your mojo and your deals go away. Not with China. Like that really doesn't matter. It's, you know, who you are as a player, who you are as a person is really what matters. And I've established some, you know, long life partnerships and friendships since I've been going.
Yeah.
Wow. You my friend?
You have lifetime partnerships here? Yeah. Hmm? Do you have lifetime, like Tracy has with Chinese, do you have them with Americans?
Well, besides Tracy, I have a lot of friends, still have a lot of friends here. I have some friends in Houston, still living in Houston. And my daughter is born in Houston. It's hard to say about the campaign.
How tall is she?
Huh? I actually
how tall is your daughter? I mean, your mother, I know, was
it's
quite tall.
185 centimeters. I'm not sure how much inches.
185? 1 meter 85?
You know what's funny? I actually go to China, more to China than he comes to the States. You don't love us no more, y'all? No, I'm joking.
You haven't been here in 4 years, right?
Yeah.
You got to get these, you know, he's the head of Chinese basketball.
When you're in China, are you recognized on the street?
Y'all want to answer that for Steve?
Are you?
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I am. I've built up a pretty big following in China.
Having spent the last 2 days with Yao, he is recognized on the street here.
Yao is recognized anywhere.
It's remarkable. I mean, there are not many folks with the level of recognition that you have.
No, and a great human being at that, though.
We got some young people in the audience who want to have international basketball careers. What would you tell them? What would you tell both Chinese and Americans who are interested in basketball? What should they want to be stars? What should they do? Well,
I grew up in a town in Central Florida of 10,000 people. And, you know, my surroundings of where I grew up in a drug-infested neighborhood. And never in a million years would I have thought that I will have the opportunity to have business in China. Yet alone be friends with somebody like Yao, as monumental and, you know, inspiring as he is. But now I've always been a curious kid, you know. When things happen in my neighborhood and I get wind of it, I'm the first one to run out of the house to see what's going on. Just that curiosity. But I think for those kids is just have the curiosity of wanting to learn. I mean, that's how you learn. That's the growth, and getting to know, you know, different cultures, food, you know, how they prepare for the game of basketball, what we love dearly. So for me, it's just, you know, have that curiosity, and you know, I'm a prime example of that. China really has changed my life, changed my family's life, with the extended version of, you know, the business opportunities. So I would never, you know, waver from that. I always have that curiosity of wanting to learn and learn more.
Yeah, what do you want to tell young people?
I agree with Matt said, curiosity. People will say play basketball is for fun, and you have to love the basketball to play better. But you know, the basketball will bring you to a life trip that it's full of interesting story. That you have to be you have to be curiosity about what you're going to meet in next steps, and don't be afraid to take the next steps. Always take the next one and next one and next one. For that, you will meet your next teammate or opponent. You are going to the next level that you may getting better. You may go into next country to foreigner, whether European or Asia, in China or whatever. The curiosity will keep you going.
Yeah. Is there another Yao Ming out there among the 1.4 billion Chinese? Are we going to see another Yao Ming, the person who brought really basketball to China, the NBA to China, who really had this remarkable impact? Is there one in
Well,
the junior leagues, so to speak?
we have a lot of talented kids. We have a lot of talented kids, but we just need to put more attention, more patience on them, and also pay more attention on them to scout them, to help them to develop their talent into. I think the sky is the limit.
Here's a question which I don't think you've been asked before. How can sports help rebuild U.S. China relations, which is what we've been talking about how with the government relationship, the government-to-government relationship so deeply challenged, we've been talking about people-to-people relationships, rebuilding U.S. China relations kind of from the bottom up. So my question for both of you is, how can sports help do that?
I think when countries come together, build that bridge of playing together. Playing together brings engagement. Engagement brings connections, and those connections can lead to, partnerships, friendships, and it's all about playing together. And I think, if you look at, myself, where I come from, my background, where Yao comes from, his background, but we have that one thing in common, and that's that round ball and passion for it. And, we truly love that, and it doesn't matter, his religion, his beliefs, none of that really matters, but us just really putting our mind together for that common goal and trying to achieve that. And I think, when we do that, build those bridges and come and play together, it could solve any issue.
Yeah, how can we rebuild?
Well, I would say that only through sports we can seek sportsmanship. The sportsmanship is like, when we recognize that we are opponents on the basketball court or any sports field, but sometimes I don't know if Mac, you agree with me. Sometimes we know a lot of best friends from doing our competition because we respect each other.
I don't fraternize. I don't fraternize. It could be my cousin. If we about to play, I don't fraternize. But go ahead.
Okay. So that when you play in your best level, you wish you have an opponent on the court that can match against you, that can push yourself into your limit. And only through your best opponent you can find the best for yourself. And that is, I think, when the game is over, the result come, we still respect each other.
Which is kind of what you could say about U.S. China relations going forward. That we have to maintain that respect. We have to have rules of the road. Yeah. It should be great. Yeah. I want to thank the both of you. Now, why this bull suddenly showed up was I would shoot it for the first time in 50 years now. Love you guys to each autograph it, and it will be kind of a memory of both this evening and of what sports diplomacy can do. As you know, we hosted the Chinese ping pong team in 1972, and we helped change the direction of U.S. China relations. And in a lot of ways, basketball is the ping pong of 50 years ago. That the enthusiasm that Chinese have, mostly because of Yao and because of Tracy, the enthusiasm that Chinese have for basketball and the NBA helps bring the two countries together.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to do that in my own way. I'm real big on giving people an opportunity, just based off of, me sitting in this seat today. Someone gave me an opportunity and gave me a platform to be able to make a name for myself. So I created a one-on-one basketball league to where, because of my partnership with China, And I know how big and impactful basketball is in the country of China. I wanted to bring a platform that hasn't been built yet through one-on-one, to give that opportunity for those players here in the United States that would probably never get the opportunity to go to China and play against the Chinese players, and bring those Chinese players over as well. So I'm very heavily involved in the youth space, and that's the bridge that I'm building to, spark those relationships. So yeah,
Well, if everybody would join me in thanking Yao and Tracy for a wonderful discussion and for what they've done. Thank you both. Woo!